I'm at warm up the feed. This is when all of us start to waken up the algorithm. Okay, it's We the People time. Today we're going to be focusing on Trump, MTG, Epstein, and some NYC news. We are on Cafecito break, and you can listen to our show on YouTube, X, and Rumble. All right, mi gente. Without further ado, let me introduce my brothers, Kozi and Mark. Hello.
What's going on, everybody?
How's everybody doing today?
Doing wonderful.
Spectacular. We're doing introductions or we're going right into it?
Well,
Everybody knows us by now, right?
well, no, but you know what? Since we're learning to be official, let's tell the community. This show is brought to you by Kozi's Pure Soaps, available now for purchase. Visit Kozi's Pure Soaps at Instagram and make sure that you invest in local brands.
If
My
you're
name is
buying other soaps, what are you doing? Forget about it.
Forget
Kozi's Pure
about
Soaps
it.
is the way to go.
That's right, mi gente. So welcome. I'm one of the Perez sisters of Cafecito Break. We are here live every Monday that we can, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and we are hosted by brothers that you see here, Kozi and Mark for NY. One thing that I like to say is that, boy, has there been lots of fightings everywhere you look. I'm tired of it. So I am going to extend a cafecito break to all of you and say, you know what? I don't want to fight. I don't want to bicker. I don't want to be out in the street recording and getting into it with any of you. We have much bigger things at bay that we have to really focus in on. And if we're fighting, that means that we're losing the battle. So whatever that means to you, our excuse me, our spotlight guest, which is our brother John Matland, he will be on shortly, but let me pass it on to Kozi to introduce himself, Mark, and then we'll bring him right up.
What's going on, everybody? It's Kozi. I'm a former healthcare worker that was fired for refusing the COVID shot, and here, a medical freedom activist for, I don't know, about almost 2 decades. So I've been fighting the fight, and we're here today to talk about a lot of stuff, right? The division that's happening, and we're going to get into it all. Division. We're going to talk about New York City politics. We're going to talk about possible picks for school chancellor that are being rumored. All types of stuff. So that's my little intro. Mark, what's going on, Mark?
How's it going, fellow freedom-loving Americans? Mark from NY here. I'm back to PG version of myself. The New York City election is over. It's time to go back to staying calm, cool, and collective and professional. But I do have a PG rant for you guys coming a little later on in the program. Welcome to the Brooklyn Free Speech, those who are watching us on local cable TV. And we got a great show for you. John Matland, our guest, ran for Congress in South Brooklyn and Staten Island. So, longtime friend of the freedom fighters. Looking forward to having him on. And speak of the devil, there he is, the one and only John Matland. Welcome, John.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm sorry I don't have a headset. You guys all have the headset, so hopefully I don't mess your audio up. And I am definitely excited to jump into quite a bit. I have about 30 minutes, and I would just love to touch on everything. And specifically, Rose Angel sent me over a text as I was posting this morning from my palm tree ridden backyard. And she said, we're on the same exact level plane. And that post has since gotten a lot of traction. And I don't know if this is where you guys wanted to start, but I'm watching division happen again in real time and nobody's using logic. I've been told that I'm a Jew hater today for saying that I think that U.S. politicians And I don't actually think U.S. politicians, I know U.S. politicians should only focus on U.S. citizens. And what we saw come from Eric Adams is a little bit of, he vocalized something you don't say out loud for the most part, but he's very dim as a human being. He's very dim-witted. And he said the quiet part out loud, and that should scare everybody for a multitude of reasons.
First, can I say he looked like a total dunce out there with that, he's out there like, pandering, kissing butt. We all know he doesn't care about, he doesn't care about Israel. He doesn't care about that stuff. So he's just pandering. It's all nonsense. But I know that people got triggered. People got upset with your post today. And I'm quick to defend you, John. I know you're not an anti-Semite. I know that that's not your, that's not who you are, right? And I know you made it clear in your caption, you made it clear in the things you said that this is not about that. This is about why is a mayor, a sitting mayor of New York City, going over to another country, okay? First of all, using our tax money to go there, one, and two, like saying that I'm your mayor, basically, right? He didn't say your mayor, right? I'm the
He
mayor.
said, I served you.
I served you as the mayor.
Yeah.
Right?
Really quick,
As
John,
the
when
mayor.
you're not talking, John, could you mute yourself because we're getting an echo from Kozi probably because of your end.
Okay, so like that's what I want to be clear with. And I will defend John because I know he's righteous and I know that, he wouldn't say something like that. That's not who he is. And none of us here. So we need to stop using the name calling and let's think about the topic, right? Think about what John was saying. And he's pointing it out correctly. Stop getting upset. We were upset when people were going to Ukraine. We were upset whenever our country goes into other countries and fights and does whatever it does. We're against that. Stick to your country. Focus on your deteriorating city, right? This guy's dancing around, right? Mayor Adams dancing around in nightclubs, doesn't give a shit while the city is burning. Yeah, be a mayor. Why are you going to Puerto Rico? Why are you going to this and that? Like you're going everywhere but New York City.
Would you like to see the clip? That way people can see for themselves. And I would like to also chime in that two things. I did not see and I have not seen any of the comments. So I'm just sort of learning everything for the first time now. I'm a little saddened to hear it. I feel calm in my spirit. There's nothing to defend here on this. But I will say that when I heard the video and I saw it for myself before John and I collaborated on this post earlier, I was not happy with just the clip and that visual, because we're just living such heated times where so much New Yorkers are being affected by so much of politics that have nothing to do with what's really happening to everyday New Yorkers. That is the only reason why I feel salty about the clip. So let me show you. Here we go.
My male team here in Israel, and as I finish, I wanted to come back here to Israel and let you know that I serve you as the mayor, but I want to continue to have the title that's more important to me than anything. I'm your brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Can I just say, I'm going to just break this down logically and a way that is bipartisan so the people that get triggered on the left can understand as well. When Tucker Carlson went and interviewed Vladimir Putin, everyone said, how dare he speak to Vladimir Putin? And now Tucker Carlson's a talking head. He's a journalist. And even speaking to somebody from another nation is a problem to try to figure out if there's an off-ramp and what the other side's viewpoint is so you can become knowledgeable. Now, a politician is happy. So if this was a Republican politician that went to Russia, if this was Donald Trump and he went to Russia and said, I just want to let the citizens of Russia know that I served you as your president, you'd have the same exact outcry because it's just logically based in location and where your country is and where you live and what country that is needs to be put first. Regardless, if you want to be Israel first, I'm assuming you're an Israeli and you live in Israel, because if you're an Israeli that lives in the US, this is your domicile, this is your home, this is your country. You have to be America first. And it's the same for every other country. Nobody walks into a negotiation and says, hey, how can I get walked on today? I expect Mexico to have a negotiation with Trump and put Mexico first as much as they can until they have to hopefully bend to a good deal for the U.S. because it's America first in my book. So logically, I'm just trying to explain what this sets up. If you're okay with the sitting mayor of New York City going to Israel, then you're okay with and saying I was your mayor. You're okay with Mamdani coming in and saying I am your mayor and visiting Palestine. It's the same thing. It's just not your side. And the reality is it all needs to stop. It's all bullshit.
That's a good point, John. And I just want to say, to be clear, like, when we're saying this stuff, like we respect, like, listen, I have friends from both sides, right? I have friends that are Jewish, I have friends that are Muslim, and I respect both of them. And this is not about that, right? We want unity from both sides. We would love peace. I would love peace. I'm speaking for myself. I'm sure you guys share the same thing. But this is totally different. This is about what John clearly stated, right? Where we cannot have sitting mayors visiting other countries and saying, like, basically, yeah, I served you as the mayor. Like, what do you mean you served them? That's not your job, dude. Stay in New York and just do your job, man. City's burning.
I find it very interesting when it comes to the topic of anything Israel, because if you mention Putin's name, so if you criticize Putin or Russia, no one says that you hate Russian people. If you criticize the fact that we send money to Ukraine and Zelensky not wearing a suit and being a clown, doesn't mean you hate the Ukrainian people. If you criticize China and how it's a communist government and Xi, and it's not like you hate the Chinese. If you go and you criticize Kim Jong-un in North Korea for being a dictator, you're not considered hating North Korean people. But God forbid you criticize Netanyahu or Israel for being a corrupt government, all of a sudden you're an anti-Semite. And it's not even, this topic isn't even about, the corruption of Israel, because that's a completely different topic. That goes into Epstein, that goes into the Charlie Kirk assassination, that goes into a lot of things that we're going to be talking about, or at least I'm going to be talking about. But you don't necessarily hate Jewish people. A government could be corrupt, a leader could be corrupt, a politician could be corrupt without hating the people that they represent. So I don't understand. I mean, I understand why, because it's a tactic to get you to not criticize Israel. Because I don't want to criticize Israel. I don't want people to call me an anti-Semite. That's not going to fly with me. You can call me whatever names you want to call me. I know that I'm not racist or anti-Semitic or whatever BS words you want to go and put in there. I'm going to quote my nemesis, the fake news Let's Go Brandon, alt-right, far-right, all the wrong right, xenophobic, homophobic, transphobic, all the phobic, tinfoil hat, QAnon conspiracy theorists. You can name me all those things in the book. It's bullshit, okay? It should be America first. We're not sending money to Ukraine with U.S. tax dollars. We shouldn't be sending money to Israel with U.S. tax dollars. And that's what it comes down to. Nothing to do with hate for any race or religion or anything of that nature. So,
and I just want to throw in this idea that we put money out across the world. We keep funneling money into the military industrial complex. And the people that are all there screaming like, hey, we should have free bus rides and free healthcare. Well, imagine what you could do for healthcare costs for yourself and your family and American citizens if you stopped turning it into bullets to kill everybody and then separating us and breaking us into different pieces. There's ways where you talk about what we subsidize currently as a government. Yet we're sending money to like Afghanistan for transgender studies. So if you really care about the things that you preach about how we can make our country more affordable and actually accelerate, let's start actually having that talk and not calling people I've been called xenophobic. I've been called anti-Semitic. I've been called all of it, all because I'm like, hey, can we make our country better for our country, which includes, get this, Jewish people, Muslim people. So how do I hate them if I want them to have a good life with all of us? But that's just me, just talking logic.
I also find it interesting that when we have hurricane victims in North Carolina or what happened in Hawaii and all this stuff, all of a sudden we don't have money. We don't have the money to help our people. But we got to send a lot more money to Israel and Ukraine, no problem, approve right away. But people suffering, losing their homes, we don't got money for them, right? It's nonsense.
Great point, Mark.
Sorry.
I'm going to get into my other rant really quick while John is on here, and that has to also do with the topic of division. It's bad enough that we already have two wings of the same bird, and they want to divide us between right and left. They want to divide us even further than that. They want to divide us because there's people on the right that, don't necessarily like Israel right now. So that's one division. And then now you have Trump attacking MTG and MAHA and dividing MAGA. And even on the left, you have Democrats that are like, well, I'm not communist here, but the Democratic Socialists of America are kind of taking the lead here in New York City and other places. And it's kind of like, oh, well, if you don't vote for the Democrat, then you're going to have a Republican. So you got to go and vote for the Socialist now. Otherwise, you're going to have a Republican. So there's the division all across the board. They want us divided. They want us to basically give up. And it's very important, especially with the midterm elections coming up, that Republicans stay united, because that's what they want. Oh, I'm not going to vote for this person because Trump didn't endorse him, or I'm not going to vote for this person because I'm mad at Trump and I'm mad at the Republican Party, because that's exactly what they want. We had red waves. Now we're about to have a blue wave because they want all the Republicans to stay home in the midterm elections, and we can't have any of that. We are very close. The communist threat is very real. We need to elect America First Republicans all across the country. Forget about whether Trump or the party endorses somebody. Look into the person himself. John Matland is a perfect example of that. The party didn't endorse him. Trump didn't endorse him, but he was the better candidate, and I endorsed him against what the party wanted. And we got a lot of people like that across the country, which we need to give a chance to, because you keep complaining about the government being corrupt, but yet you keep supporting the people that they tell you to support. It's time that we make a change, and that needs to be done nationwide. Thank you.
I'm just going to go and say, I recently asked Roger Stone this at a Young Republicans meetup here in Palm Beach County. And I said, how do we get the general public knowledgeable enough to go and look at the candidate list and read a 10-minute informational sheet on a website, and not just succumb to who has enough money to plaster their face on yard signs and all the other crap that we see? And he gave me a roundabout answer that led to the same starting place. Basically, it's impossible, which I fail to believe. And that's me being the ever optimist. But we had that conversation. And afterwards, I find myself in the same spot every time. People that have an open way of thinking, they gravitate to anyone who says these types of things, like what Mark is saying. And I got surrounded, and everyone said, what are you running for, and when are you doing it next? I had people in the Republican Party saying the same thing. And I told the person that's in the actual affiliated Republican Party, you won't like me. I don't kiss rings, and I need the support to run here because I don't have my crew like I did in New York. and I would need you, but I don't think you'll like me. And then she said, well, why would we not like you? And I said, because I don't answer to the stupidity that everyone else does, the ass kissing to get into office and the control I represent if I'm going to run. People, actual people, not some party that gives me directives or some PAC that lines my pockets. And just to be clear, this bed is kind of made, Jeffrey. He said that my bed's not made. And this is my bedroom and office. So cheers to that.
Yeah, I mean, John, I was endorsed by the Republican and Conservative Party both years that I ran, so within the local party. So it's not like they won't endorse an outside. It depends on the specific party and all that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they won't like you, because a lot of the people on the local level are, good people. It's, more of the higher up, and you have the APAC and all that stuff, which I'm going to transition a little bit. APAC funding people, that's, the pro-Israel, pro-Jewish community and all that, which owns pretty much every Congress member except for Thomas Massie. And Massie recently got remarried after he lost his wife last year, after coincidentally commenting on APAC. He got remarried, and Trump put out a Truth Social post saying, wow, he got remarried already? And went in and said she'll soon find out that he's a loser. I'm like, oh my God, like you got
so disgusting. And I
come
just wanna
on,
point that out
Trump.
now that
Like,
you're mentioning this, is Donald Trump, right, ran as a make America great again, right? Like he's all about America first. But now in this second term, I'm noticing that he's turning his back on that, what it seems, and he's attacking everybody who truly is make America great. So, like you said, one of the things is Rand Paul. He's calling Massey Rand Paul Jr., which is he's hitting two birds with one stone by saying that, right? He's dissing Rand Paul, who's one of the best politicians we've ever had in this country, right? And then we have, Thomas Massie, disrespecting them when they are truly America first, just because they don't go along with his plan and they vote no a lot of times. He doesn't like that. He likes to control people. He likes to bully people. And now he's being exposed. And I don't care what you guys think. A lot of people are going to attack me for this, but I don't care. If you really care about this country, you're not going to just, go along with the plan. There's things that are wrong. We're going to call it out. We don't care what party you're on. Both parties are being controlled. We saw it clearly in New York with this disgusting stuff that I've been talking about. We've all been talking about ad nauseum, where they're telling you to vote for Andrew Cuomo, the uniparty, right in your face. And shame on Trump for doing that. Shame on him for attacking real patriots. It's disgusting. We're not going to have it. We're just going to call it out. And that's causing division. And what I wanted to say is that MAGA now seems like they're turning into like almost like a neoconservative type of thing. So they're regressing back into that. And, it's disgusting. I'm not for it.
yeah, I'm a little torn here. It's very disappointing to see Trump take certain stances. He just did a full 180 last night on the Epstein list. He's urging all Republicans to vote for the Epstein files to be released tomorrow. So I guess he heard a lot of the MAGA voices and people burning his hats and all that they're not a fan of that, and he kind of transitioned on that. He has done a lot of good things in his second term, and that goes to MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and him having a fight, saying he's not going to endorse her again, and him saying that she's mad that I don't return her calls anymore. I can't take her calls every day, and trying to make it seem like she's crazy and say she's going on shows like The View. And she was mad at him at the Epstein list. The Epstein list doesn't define his presidency. It's obviously a big flaw, especially when he said Democratic hoax and things of that nature. But Charlie Kirk was asking questions. He got killed. It's kind of something that just should be put out there already. I did a post that with a few good men where, they said, you want Trump, you want the truth, and the American people said that they want the truth, and he says you can't handle the truth. I did a post on that on Instagram if you guys want to check it out. I'm not going to go into what I wrote about it, but it doesn't define his presidency. He got fentanyl, the ingredients of fentanyl, regulated in China. So we should have the fentanyl production significantly get decreased. So that's a big thing. So there's a lot of things that he's doing, which is good, but it's also very difficult to support him when he's attacking people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massey and Rand Paul. It's just it's sad to see. It goes into the division that I was talking about. It makes you wonder whether Trump is corrupt, whether he's owned by Israel or whatever the case may be. But John, I'm going to pass it to you in a second because we're almost out of time on the Brooklyn free speech side of things. So I just want to. Oh no, the 26, not 28. All right, John, what are your thoughts?
I just think that it's a very basic understanding that no one gets a free pass. Not Donald Trump, not anybody. There is no free passes. We're all accountable. And when I see people go, "Oh, I can't believe people are breaking the party up." Listen, we've all wanted this list released. And if you don't want to look like it that you're being bribed or if there's blackmail somewhere in this, you release it. You campaigned on releasing it. It's very simple. It gets released. We do not stand for protecting pedophiles and this epic corruption and disturbing pattern that we watched unfold within government agencies, kind of covering it up and having influencers like the visual of libs of TikTok and DC Drano like holding up a binder. That I remember looking at my screen that morning and I was like, what would I do if I was invited? Well, I would live stream it. And then when they handed me that piece of shit book, I would flip the table and be pulled out because I don't need to be some sort of influencer. We're watching a concerted effort to control everyone's mind. There's always been gatekeepers from Hollywood to the music industry. You only got through if there was a path and a control and a way that you can be used and abused. And now social media erased that. So that's why they brought in shadow banning. And that's why they brought in, I have to say it, free trips to Israel for some people to go and kiss the wall. It's a whole entire mechanism to control. If I got flown out to Russia and I sipped vodka with
Sorry to interrupt you there. Free trips to Israel is a long time thing with Israel and Jewish people. So
no,
has nothing to do with it.
Not that, Mark. Not that. That's birthright. Totally understandable. I'm talking about influencers that are not Jewish are getting $100,000 trips and being toured around. And this is factual. So when you look at it, nobody gets a free 100,000. They're not going to take my Lutheran ass out to Israel and fly me around unless there's a bottom line for them. And I get it because nothing's for free. If I get taken somewhere, I expect what there's going to be an ask. And when that shoe drops, they know that I'm the guy that they're going to have to make disappear before I go and I do what I'm told. So this is why people are shadow banned, because if you don't get shadow banned, the control mechanism for any government, whether the US government, any government, it's not just Israel, it's all these governments that keep us separated, they lose their power. They need us separated. We know this since day one, and they've infiltrated the way we've worked around it. And the only way we win this whole entire spiritual war is by using our mind and using logic.
That wraps it up for Brooklyn Free Speech portion of the program, airing every Saturday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll see you next week. The podcast continues live.